Hello, good morning everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name's Jackie and today we've got a slightly different webinar offering for you. So today we're actually collaborating with one of our partners. I'm just going to change the screen there, apologies. One of our partners, which is Satago, and they're here to talk about cash flow and also to take a look at some of the solutions that they offer that will help you with your cash flow as well. So I'm very happy to introduce Tom Stapley, who is a strategic partnerships manager from Satago and who we're working very closely with at the moment. So welcome to Tom.
Thanks, Jackie. Good morning.
Okay, so Satago offer 3 solutions which are add-ons to your software, but they do seamlessly integrate with your Sage 50 accounts and they can be accessed directly from your software once they're set up. So today we want to give you a little bit of an insight into these offerings. Okay, so as per usual, just in case this is your first webinar, just to make you aware, you are placed on mute and that just means that you can't speak to us directly today. But if you do have any questions, they are more than welcome. So please do use the questions panel to submit your questions to us. We will be addressing those slightly different today. We will be using a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the session today where we can put those questions to Tom. But please do submit your questions throughout the session so that we can get those answered for you. If we can't cover them in the time given today, then we will follow up all questions after today's session as well. So please do get your questions across and we will come back to all of you there. Okay, so this is a bit of an overview of what we're going to do on today's session. So first of all, Tom is going to introduce himself and the importance of cash flow management and also introduce you to who Satago are. And then we're going to go through the 3 solutions that they offer. So smart credit control, automated risk insights, and also flexible invoice finance. We'll then be looking at some demonstrations. So we're going to show you a very quick video, first of all, which just shows you how you can activate one of the features, in particular invoice finance, in your Sage 50 accounts, and then access that within your software. And then Tom will go through a more thorough demonstration of Satago in action. Finally, we will round up with that Q&A. So like I say, please do get your questions across to us. We do also have Michael in the background as well. So if you've got any Sage 50 questions linking into that, please do send those across and we'll see if Michael can pick those up also for you. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to switch off my camera. I'll disappear for a short while. I'm going to hand you over to Tom and I will be back very soon for you.
Thank you, Jackie. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. So I'm here today, as Jackie mentioned, from Satago. I've had the pleasure of working quite closely with Sage over the past couple of years. We integrate with Sage 50, which is why we're here today, Intact, and also Sage Business Cloud. We are an all-in-one cash flow solution. So we support businesses with risk insights, so allowing them to make more informed decisions so they know who they're working with, credit control, and lastly, invoice finance. And we'll go through all of that in a little bit more detail. A little bit about us. We're a UK-based business in UK and Ireland, and we've been around for about 10 years so far. We have 75 employees. So we're going to skip on to the next screen now, and we're going to talk you through credit control and risk insights in a bit more detail. We will fly over a few bits here because shortly, as Jackie mentioned, we'll be going through a demonstration where you'll be able to see all of this in a little bit more detail. But to start, we have our credit control fully automated. I couldn't believe when I first started how manual this process was. So you have an awful lot of people working within SMEs who have to manually chase invoices. So either time on the phone or email sent. Sometimes this is a small portion or a large portion of people's week, taking them away from the jobs that they do day to day. We have a solution that automates this entire process, but we also understand that you want to treat customers in different ways. If you can imagine one customer who you've worked with for 10 years, you have a great relationship with and they repay every time, you'd want to have a different relationship with them all the way through to someone who's a notoriously bad payer. We enable you to do this. So you can bucket and customize customers so that you set up different chases, different reminders, different thank yous, and the tone of the emails can be different too. And this is all integrated into your email inbox as well, and outbox as well. So you can control all those things, but also the customer, it looks and feels like they're dealing with you, which is really important because you don't want to lose that personal touch. We've also seen that 70% of invoices that are chased through this process are paid within 4 days. So that's getting capital back into the business much quicker. And I know Sage is committed to that, but the biggest killer of SMEs is poor cash flow at the moment. So the quicker you get that money back into your business for whatever you need it for, better. Next, we're going to move on to our risk insights. So we have an integration with all the major accounting softwares, Sage 50 being one of them. So we're constantly pulling data through all the time. So it's in real time, we can tell you exactly what's going on with the business and where there are risks. So what you're seeing here, we're going to go into in a bit more detail in a second, but we're pulling through your aged debtors all the time. And we're actually overlaying that with risk. So you can see if you have finite time where to chase, where that time should best be spent. We also have the ability to do soft checks, so you can see days beyond terms, CCJs and things like that of businesses throughout the UK, and also a limited amount of full credit reports each year. So if you're a business who has separate subscriptions with other credit agencies, this might be something we're able to help you with and save you a little bit of cash on the side too. Next, moving along. So we have our invoice finance. So far we've shown you our risk insights, which enables you to make more informed decisions because you know who you're working with and updates as and when they happen. We then have our credit control that's chasing money that you have outstanding. If then you still need capital, we have our single, selective and full invoice finance product. Now what we've showed you here is the different forms of finance that you can get. Now the reason we show you this is because most businesses use forms of finance that we use in our personal lives. And we totally get it because it's trust and it's comfort. And actually, if you've used one, you understand how it works, mechanics of it. But it's not always necessarily the best form of finance. We'll go through this in a bit. And I don't expect to go through this line by line. I know this will be sent out to you, but it's just interesting to compare the prices, the rates, the ease of access. So that in some cases, a credit card might be the best option. But in others, actually, have you considered invoice finance? This again is a bit more. So we have our single invoice finance and we have our full invoice finance product. Single, this sits in the background and you'll be able to see how this operates in a moment. But if you don't need to use it for a month or two, there's no cost to it at all. You can just see what you can get access to as and when you need it. There's no service fee to this, there's no application cost. It's just you're paying for the amount of money that you have out for the time period that you do. We also then have customers who are using a full invoice finance product. Now this looks at the entire debtor book and lends a percentage against it. So this is a more committed 12-month contract, let's say, on average. So people are lending month on month. This is also something that we can discuss. So as you'll see in a second, it's fully digitized, but we also have a team of invoice finance specialists in the background who are able to guide you through this entire process and work out what's best for you.
Okay, so I think it's just back to myself for the moment, because what we just want to show you just before we go into the full demonstration of this in action is just to show you how easy it can be to activate it in your software and also access the dashboards from within your software. So here what we've got is a video which will demonstrate that for you. So we focused in on invoice finance because it does require a slightly more detailed application and there are eligibility requirements. Now these are detailed in the handout that you've got access to today. So if you do want to take a look at those, please download the handout. The icon for that is the document with the folded corner, and that will give you access to the full slide deck for today, including those Satago slides. So we've got a short video here. It's about 4 minutes long, and that will just take you through the application process and what that looks like, and then how to access the feature once that's activated.
You can activate Satago Invoice Finance through Connected Services and then Invoice Finance. Initially, you will need to connect your company to a Sage account. Enter your name and review your company information before logging into your Sage account. If you've not previously created a Sage account, this can be set up from here. Once connected, you can then access connected services such as bank feeds and remote data access, and also third-party apps. This will then launch the Invoice Finance activation process. This process will run searches with Companies House. Ensure your company name is correct and enter your company registration number if possible. Select Search Companies House. If you search for company name alone, this will provide a number of results from which you must select the correct company. Choose the correct company from the list and select Confirm Company. A search based on company registration number will refine the search and will only find one result. This will take you to the annual turnover. An estimated value will appear if you've run a year end in your Sage 50 accounts, but this can be amended if required. Select Next to review your company details before checking your company's eligibility. If your company does not meet the eligibility criteria, the process will end here. However, if you do meet the requirements, you can leave your contact details and a member of the Satago team will be in touch to discuss the application. Once activated and your application has been approved, you can access the Satago dashboard from within your Sage 50 software by going to Connected Services, then Satago, and logging into your account if requested. Satago settings can be configured through Connected Services, then Satago Settings. Within the Data Sync Configuration tab, you can change the frequency of automatic syncing of your Satago data with your accounts data. You can force the data to sync using the Sync Data Now option, and you can also disconnect from Satago if required. The Transaction Accounting tab can be used to activate the Invoice Finance Write Back feature. This allows Invoice Finance transactions to post automatically into Sage 50 accounts. This can be activated by deselecting the Post Transactions Manually checkbox. The posting details of Invoice Finance transactions can be configured within here, and you can specify which nominal codes and which tax codes are used for these transactions.
Slides there, so you should be back onto the slides. I'm going to hand over to Tom in just a moment for a demonstration, but I just wanted to highlight that video there showed you the application and the activation process for Invoice Finance. It's very similar for credit control and risk insights, and you can find that within Connected Services and then credit control and risk insights, but that does depend on the license that you have with us. In addition, just to re-highlight that there is also a write back feature. So if you do use Invoice Finance, you can configure it to download transactions automatically, again, automating some of that processing for you. So I'm just going to hand over to Tom now. He's actually going to take us through a live demonstration of those dashboards for each of those features, and then we'll pop back to me at the end of the session. Again, if you can get your questions across to us, and we'll try and get as many of those answered for you on the session at the Q&A at the end there for you. There you go, Tom.
Moment of truth. Perfect. Thank you very much. Hopefully you can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so thank you, Jackie. So I'm just going to run you through when you've followed those easy steps to get access to Satago within your Sage dashboard. You then land on our task board. Now, if there's anything that's outstanding, this is where you're prompted to do it, plus also notifications up here that you'll be able to see. So that'll make a bit more sense in a second, but anything that's changed to any of your debtor book, we're proactively pushing notes to you so you can work out exactly what's going on. And again, like we've mentioned, make more informed decisions. We're going to start with our risk insight. So very quickly, you would have seen soft searches and credit searches before, but if we just look at Boots PLC here, you can just get a feel for what it looks like. These soft searches that I'm showing you here are unlimited, so you can make as many of these that you need to. We pull data from CreditSafe and Companies House, match it together. Throughout the platform, you'll see that everything is color or traffic light colored. So obviously green, very good, you'd expect it, but at a glance, you can see what's going on with the amber and reds. This is not showing here for Boots, obviously larger business, but days beyond terms is very important. You want to know how quickly businesses are going to pay you. Anything to do with CCJs or anything out there, risk band will show you here again, obviously very low, which is great. Credit limit is a bit extreme here, but that'll be more relevant to the businesses that you're searching. Now, we won't go through a full credit report, but businesses that use us have access to 25 full 10-page credit reports. So if you're bringing on a new client, you want to understand what's going on with them, you can do that due diligence there. Moving on now to our analysis. This is what we saw at a glance on one of the slides. So we are pulling through information from your accounting software at all times to make it very easily and digestible. So you can see here that you would have probably seen debtors days overdue beforehand, invoices overdue, but you probably wouldn't have seen it with risk overlaid. So actually you can work out if you have finite time or where to prioritize, where you should really be spending that. So actually I can see down here, very high risk, 90 days plus, this should be taking up the majority of my time. I click into this and all of a sudden I have businesses that I can chase up and use our credit control tool for. Credit control that we saw, we'll just land on the settings. We won't go through this in too much detail. What I really want to land is that actually we don't expect you as a business to change how you currently operate. This is just showing how flexible we can be. So with reminders, however many days before you want to send a reminder that's coming, chase us afterwards, thank you messages, days, times of the month, we can do all of it. And this all looks and feels like it's coming from you because it comes back into Satago, but also back into your inbox. So you keep that personal touch with the customers that you're dealing with. The last section is also invoice finance. So what I'm showing you first here is our selective invoice finance. So just to reiterate, this will pull through in real time in the background at all times. So we're showing you what you can get access to if and when you need access. So it might come to the case that you don't need it for a good few months, but 1 month, generally we get busier around the end of month, around payroll. You're able to access an invoice here. And it's almost like checking out with something online. We use open banking. Obviously, we're pulling your data through from accounting software, so we do the majority of the heavy lifting for you. And then we have a risk or credit team in the background who are able to answer any questions that you have. But we aim to do this digitally just for speed. So just to reiterate again, this is selective, so you're not paying anything for this. But as and when you wanted access to the money, obviously you're paying for the money that's outstanding. We also, on top of this, have a full invoice product, which is more of like a revolving credit facility against all of your debtors that a lot of customers like access to just with Cashflow. So that's a run through of the demo of our platform. I guess, Jackie, I'll hand back to you quickly now.
No problem. Thank you very much for that, Tom. So I'm just going to pop back onto the slides and I'm just going to go through some of the key takeaways from today's session. So just pop back onto those slides there. There we go. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Tom, and for demonstrating the features there. So just going to go through some of those key takeaways, then we'll address some of the questions that have come through there. So as you will have seen, Satago is an all-in-one cash flow solution. It offers simple, transparent cash flow management tools for you. The invoice finance feature can provide cash advances on outstanding customer invoices before the customer pays the balance. So that just releases the cash for you to inject back into your business. Eligibility checks are carried out on all applications, and as I mentioned earlier, lists of those eligibility criteria are available on both the handout and also on the website. Credit control and risk insights are only available to customers on the finance package, so you'll only see that option if you've got the finance package license activated. And as Tom mentioned, we've got both full book and single invoice finance available. Now, there is a lot more information available for you. We've got 2 links on the screen there at the bottom to learn more, so that will take you directly to our invoice finance landing page where you can find out a bit more information. But if you would like to speak to someone around your specific situation and get a little bit more information about how that will work for you, then you can also request a call back from a member of the team. In addition, we've also provided you with some of the help articles that we have available on what invoice finance is, the eligibility criteria, and also how to set up some of those features as well. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go on to some of the questions there. So the first one we've had through there is, can we just ask, is this service available in the Republic of Ireland? So we've got some people joining us from Ireland today, Tom.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. So our credit control and risk insights is available now. Within the next week, we will be partnering with a bank in Ireland as well, who will be able to offer invoice finance. So risk insights and credit control is available already, and access to invoice finance will be within a week or so.
Excellent, thank you. The next one is credit control and risk insights is included in the finance package. What if we don't have the finance package? Is it still accessible?
Yes, so it is. So yeah, we work with customers. This is included with customers that have a finance package. If not, you're able to access this and pay for the software. I believe it's on apps and add-ons or the marketplace. You can obviously access Satago there, and it is a cost of £45 per month for the software. And obviously any lending is on top of that. The one thing I would just add in, if you look at the various different tools that we have, if you're looking at having a credit bureau subscription, a subscription for chasing invoices, it could work out a bit more economical to look at Satago. So just an option there.
Excellent. And also, what are the costs included with invoice finance? What can we expect to be paying for that?
Yeah, so it's risk-based, so it depends on various different parameters. Obviously, there's so many different examples, I won't be able to give them all today. What I can tell you is with the selective product that I just showed you, you're not paying an application fee, not paying a servicing fee. It's just a percentage on the funds that you have for the time out that you have them. We have a team of people who'll be able to guide you through. So Jackie mentioned some contact details there. We have someone who can reach out, find out a little bit of information about you, and then go back to you with a quote. So we can turn that around very quickly. And then we also have our more committed tool, which is our full book, where we're looking at like a 12-month contract where actually there'll be a monthly fee agreed. But we have a lot of customers who haven't used it before and want to try before you buy or trial it, who use our selective product just because they kind of dip their toe when they need to.
Excellent, thank you. So we've got just a few questions there around how to access these items within the software and maybe potentially having problems accessing these. So this is probably one for myself and Michael here. It's just around getting access to that in the software. So the first thing is to activate these within the software. You do need to access your Sage account. Now, if you are having any issues with accessing your Sage account, what I potentially recommend you try it outside the software. But if you're still having issues with that, please do contact our customer support teams. They'll be able to help you with any issues with accessing these features, in particular around the Sage account. If you haven't set up a Sage account, then you will be prompted on the first time of accessing that to set up a Sage account. So please do get that set up, and it does mean that you've got access to other features such as bank feeds and remote data access, etc. Okay, so I'm going to just give you an opportunity for more questions if there are any, but while we're just waiting for any other questions to come through, I am just going to have a quick look at the upcoming webinars and where you can find that additional support there as well, so you can see what help is available to you. So just pop onto this one here. So this is the link that we've got in the the handout for you. So if you want more information, this is where you can request a call back. We've got lots of information on there around the benefits, some testimonials, and also some myth busting on there as well. In addition, as always, we do have our help centre. So you can go to sage.co.uk/help at any time, and that will take you to our help centre. Type in what you're looking for and it will bring up articles relating to that, whether that be invoice finance or through credit control and risk insights. In addition, we've got our upcoming webinars. So if you are interested in registering for a future webinar, you can go to sage.co.uk/webinars, and that will take you to the landing page that's on screen at the moment. And you can see what other webinars we've got coming up and that are available. In addition, we have the recordings page. So if you have seen today's session, you would like to review that session again, we will shortly have a recording available on our recordings page that you can watch in your own time. So great for passing on to your colleagues and friends, etc. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of the questions. We've got no final questions outstanding at the moment. Like I say, if there's anything that does come through last minute, we will follow up all questions after today's session. And of course, also you can drop us an email, just respond to your follow-up email, and then myself and Tom can also pick that up for you if you just thought of something just after today's session that you wished you'd asked on the session, and I can keep in contact with Tom for you. Okay, so if there's nothing else at the moment, we will look to draw the session to an end there. Thank you very much to Tom for joining us. Have you got any final any final words?
No, thank you for joining. Yeah, please, any support or questions, reach out to us. But the main aim of why we've had a relationship with Sage is to give SMEs access to more insights and also quicker access to capital. So that's the main aim, and hopefully that's the takeaway.
Fabulous. So thank you, Tom, for joining us. Thank you, everyone else, for logging in today and joining us on this slightly different session today. And also thank you to Michael, who's also supported in the background. But for now, take care. We will see you on another session really soon. But for now, it is goodbye from me and goodbye from Tom. Thank you, everyone.